Today, I will change my life. I am strong. I am beautiful. I am loved. These are things that we need to tell ourselves every day. Don't sit on the couch and wait for things to happen. Get out, take a walk, get your blood pumping and your heart beating, clear your mind, make a change. Smile more. Every day, try something new. Show more gratitude. Do things that challenge you. Be brave. Focus on your own goals. You are worthy. Okay, so what I want to do with you guys today is I worked on my Sashiko little stitching project that I got. I got a gift from my mom that she sent me. And yeah, so it's pretty cool. And I went ahead and dyed some threads with you guys, and I showed you guys how I did that. And I'll make sure to put that on the end screen so you guys can come check it out. I wanted to use them on this project, but I decided to go just the traditional white for the Sashiko. And I really like it. I think it turned out really cool. So what I'm thinking today I want to do with you guys is I have a fun fabric here for a cover because I want to make this into a journal. It's like a little fold up journal here. But what I want to do is I want this fabric to be the cover of it. Okay. So what we're going to do today is just put this to the side. So I have a playlist that I show you guys the measurements and everything that this part of it. So I'll make sure to put that on the end screen also, and you guys can come check it out. Okay. And now today, what I want to do is, I love this fray that was happening. This was happening at the end of the fabric. So I cut it to have it stay there so it can be the top of the little journal. And the other day, I was sitting here with my thumbnail because I have a longer thumbnail, and I was just, going like this and showing you guys how to do that. And my mom's like, you need to show people how to do it with a toothbrush. And this is just like a big brush thing that I have. And she goes, you need to do it with a toothbrush or something with the bristles because a lot of people don't have the nails to do it with. So this is a great idea if you want to fray your fabric, is to just kind of take the toothbrush and you can go like this. And it helps get it started. See how some of this is coming off right here and stuff. And then you could take it and just pull it like that. So I definitely want to do that along the edges of this. I want it to be frayed because this is going to be like a really fun, just raw edge around the journal, which I think will turn out really fun. But if you don't want to use that, I just take my nails and go like this. But this is definitely another option, is to take, some sort of a bristly brush and go like this. So thanks, Mom. It's a great idea. So if you don't want to do that with your nails and stuff, just do a little brush. Okay, so there's a little tip and trick from my mom. And so, well, if you guys don't know, she's a quilter. She's like been quilting for years. I mean, my whole life and stuff, and doing crafts and all this. So I always get tons of material from her, tons of, projects and stuff, and tons of tips and tricks for sure through my life. So I'm passing them on to you guys. So what I did today, because I want to keep the circle theme here, which I think is really cool, I went through and I took my punch. I took my big circle punch here, and I punched out some cardboard little template. So I can place this on my fabrics and trace around it and cut out circles. And then if you don't have any punch holes, you can use anything round. Like this is my washi tape. So I just stuck that down and traced around it and cut this out for a template. So I have two different size circles here that I did and different types of fabrics. So now I'm going to talk about kind of traditional stuff that uh, they did for like Sashiko kind of stitching and what they added to. And it's a Japanese style of stitching that they took old clothes and stuff because they didn't waste any fabrics or anything. So they just took their old clothes that were had that you couldn't wear anymore, so they can cut them up, and then they patched up other clothes with it. So they just stacked it all on top of each other. So what I have here is jeans. I did just a pair of jeans. Okay. And this was a blanket, just a woven blanket that I coffee dyed. I thought that turned out really cool with the different kinds of creams and darker chocolates. So that's coffee dyed fabric from a blanket. And this is a dish, like a dish towel that I coffee dyed. Okay, so I got that here, and I got the blanket here. So this is just some stuff, either scraps of fabric that I had or different things like that. Let's see. And this is a tablecloth. So cut out a piece of just tablecloth. Did I actually cut the tablecloth? But you can, do tablecloths. This is just coffee dyed. Things like that, jeans, an old flannel shirt, or any kind of blouses, anything like that. Lace would be great too. That'd be fun. So what I wanted to do for the cover here is stick with taking old fabrics and layering them on top of each other. And I wanted to do this for the front cover of the journal. Okay. So I just want to, like, you could stack a piece here. You could take, and this one's really cool. I didn't show you guys this one. This is coffee dyed. I grunged this up really good. And I did some coffee dyed splatters and different things like that. And then I did RIT dye, and just a black RIT dye that I dripped all over it. So I made this really grungy, and I have that here. Did I just cut it out once? Yeah, I think I did. And then I have some music notes here. I just thought that one was fun. Fabric, some more jeans, and some coffee dyed letters, and then some words. So these are all going to be fun to play with, and any kind of fabric that you have laying around, or extra towels or cloths, or the tea towels are probably the best ones. That's pretty much what this is. It's like a tea towel, so it has a nice cotton feel to it. And cotton and jean and linen is great. Silk is great. Those are great to get your needles through. And if you always want to test to see how it's going to react with your needle, is to just take your fabric that you're going to use and just take your needle and put it through and just see how it's going to, do with it for sure. So that is definitely something you can do. But yeah, so what I want to do now is I'm going to put all this to the side, and I want to fray the edges of this fabric and get it prepped how I want it to look. Side. And then we're just going to take it, and I'm just going to go around and keep pulling the threads and getting it all just how I want it to be. I frayed around the edges like I want here. Then I took and laid out my quilted little sashiko. Okay, so I laid it out, And this is just to see where the cover is going to hit, so we can work on the cover today. Okay. I'll be giving you guys a little bit of homework to work on. But it'd be fun homework. Okay, so the front of the fabric, the good fabric, is facing out, and then the other side is facing this way. Okay, so I just laid it all on top with about, let's say an inch, half inch. I think it's a half an inch. Yeah, oh yeah. So we got a half inch around, roughly. And this isn't measured perfectly at all. It's just kind of, I like it like that, where it's just kind of a little rustic, you know. So it doesn't have to be perfect. So that's just one pressure you can take off yourself. Okay, so I have it just like that. Then when it's folded up, I go this, and this is still a work in progress of how I'm exactly going to do all this part. But I know that the front will be here, okay? This, or just accordion folding it, okay? Now the thing is, I have 5 squares, so that makes it uneven. So I'm debating if I cut this one off, or I'm thinking, I think this would be really cool just to fold it to the back and just have this be the back of the journal. I mean, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about that, because I think it's pretty cool. And we're going to hand stitch all this on, so that's kind of fun like that, to have that at the back of the journal, okay? And then this is the front, right? Open it like that. You know, and we'll put it all perfectly when it's time, but, and then you open it like that, and then you open it, and that'll be the back. So I'm thinking that's kind of a cool concept like that, okay? So what we're doing now is just lining it up to see where we want our cover to hit. Okay, so that's where I want my cover. So I'm just going to go ahead and lay these out. And I'm just doing circles just because my pattern on my fabric has circles on it, and I thought it would be fun to do that. You guys can do squares, do little square little patches, or triangle little patches, or circles, triangles, and squares, or rectangles. Just whatever you guys want to do, really. This is definitely your journey here. Okay, so let's see how we're going to do this. Nothing's set in stone, but I'm just going to kind of lay it out, feel it out here. I even like the idea of doing that. And I got my little pins here. Pin down whatever I want. Now, the thing is that you're not going to want your, when we're doing this, I'll make sure to take this out. And I don't want to pin it to it, because we're just going to do the cover by itself. So we can do all the stitching and have all the stitching here. And we'll hide the stitching and the stitching of the cover. So just make sure wherever you have the inside of this, that if you don't want stitching to show, just don't have it come up around, you know, just keep it in this area. So I'm just having this here for a reference to see. And then when I pin it down, like I said, I'm not going to pin it to this part. And I'll make sure to take that out when I do the sewing. Okay. So let's just lay out some stuff and see what we're doing. See what we're dealing with here. That kind of matches. I'm going to turn it that way. If you guys are enjoying this video, hit the like button. That does help me a lot get out there further for others to see. And I thought this one was kind of fun. It's a quilted piece of, it's already quilted together. And I just made a circle with it. That kind of gives it a little bit of variety here. Okay, so I'm kind of liking this, and we don't have to use every piece that you've cut out either. I mean, this might even be too much, but I'm going to stick with the traditional white when I go around it and do some fun, just, I'm going to, probably I can throw in some X's throughout. I think that'd be kind of fun. And for some reason, I keep wanting to use red. I don't know why. I just want to do a little bit of red. I was thinking almost red fabric, but I don't know. I don't know if does it need a pop of red. And then maybe a little bit of red. Floss here, some of the embroidery floss. Maybe. So I'm thinking maybe I'll go grab some red fabric and then we can step back and look at that. Just a little bit, just to do a circle maybe. Have like a kind of a little focal point of the red. Let me grab some fabric and then we'll go from there. Okay. So I think that turned out way better. And I took some off of it to let it breathe. I had too much on there. So I was too excited to see what it all looked like. So I stepped back, looked at it again, and I like that. Oh, with this on there. I don't know how that came off, but I think that looks good like that. There we go. So what do you guys think? Yeah, please let me know in the comments. But I think the red helped. I like the red. So what I have is just embroidery floss red here. And I'm using 2 strands of this. And then this is the Sashiko thread that my mom bought. And she said it was actually just for this. It actually says Sashiko thread, 100% cotton, Olympus. So that's what that is. Okay. And I'm not like threading it apart or nothing. I'm just using the whole thing because it's kind of twisted. And it'll just get tangled if you try to split it like you would with the embroidery floss. Because this is just like twisted together, I think. So I'm just using that. And also here's some needles. The Sashiko needles. And I'm not using that today. I'm using a chenille. Just a chenille needle. Chenille. But I think this one is one. It came with 2. It came with this one and this one. These are the 2 needles. They got different eyes in them. Okay. That's all that. I'm going to go ahead and I want to pin these down. I'm just going to take my little pins here and make sure I'm just going through the cover. Smaller ones here. Okay. Now I got them where I want them. Side. Okay. So this is going to be the homework part. This is the fun part where you get to sit in your comfy spot, sit out, watching your favorite program or listen to your favorite podcast or, listening to music, just whatever relaxes you. And what I'm going to do is I'll do some running stitches. I'll do maybe some whip stitches around. Throw in some X's, maybe some crosses and stuff. I don't know. I'm just going to kind of just let it speak to me, if you will, as we do it. But I mean, we could just start some of it here. I'm just going to pop up right here and just do a running stitch around. I'm just making sure to go through the back of catching the cover. And you can either go all the way through and then all the way back up, or you can just pop your needle up like this, depending on how thick your fabric is here. That's something to consider too, is to make sure that your needle can go through easily, especially if you're going to double up stuff. And this is just a woven fabric, and then just a little thin cotton, so it's not too bad. Just making sure I'm catching all the way through to the journal cover there. You can just see. It's just great lap work. And I mean, just get creative with it, you know. You can even, whatever journal fabric cover that you have, like I might even take and go through and do some fun, you know, stitching throughout, and just kind of, you know, bring out some of the stitches or some of this, have it pop out. I think that'll be kind of fun too. Yeah. So I think my main stitch is going to just be the running stitch, and then throw in some other little whatever I feel. So that's the fun part about slow stitching. It doesn't have to be about perfection. I mean, that really is not what it's about. If it becomes tedious and you're like, and you get frustrated and stuff, then just step away for a little bit, because I mean, the point of it is to just take a deep breath in and a deep breath out and just relax and just go with the flow and let the needle do its thing. And, you know, if you have to think too much about it, then it's not really slow stitching anymore. So you just got to kind of just pretty much, you know, let the fabric speak to you and see what it wants to do. And I mean, really, if you let it happen, it's just going to happen. Oh, okay. You can see, I just went ahead and just did a running stitch around there. Okay. Through that. Needle out. Now, if you want, another one, and I'm going to stagger it in between the stitches. And the reason I did pick the woven blanket here is because this is going to start fraying out, and I think that's going to look really cool, and I'll have it attached down. So, I mean, some of it will come out, but I think that's going to look cool. And just give it a little different look to it. So just look through your fabrics and see what you got, and, you know, some old clothes that you haven't wore forever, and you're like, oh, that's got a cool pattern on it, or, you know, I can coffee dye that or tea dye that, and, you know, make it your own. See where it takes you, really. But like I was saying, this is just going to be our little homework until the next video of us putting it all together. And this is just a fun little relaxing project that we could do together. No pressure. I mean, hopefully we're not grading each other on it. it's just really just about the stitching and the feel and the journey that we're going through. We can go through it together. So there we go. I mean, I think that turned out really fun. Okay, and then I got that there like that. Let's see, since I still have a little red here, go over. You can kind of see how that's puckering up. I don't like that. Move it over a little bit. In it, you know, kind of see what happens when you start stitching, and then just move some stuff over. You can even do a basting stitch if you want and just baste it all down, but I'm just going to keep it with the pens. Go through and do some running stitches. And weave it in and out like that, and then just pull it through. And if you don't want it all puckered up like that, just kind of give it a little straighten out there. So you can go like that. If you want, you can just continue on here. Up there. I'm really liking the red. I just think with blue and red always, blue, red, and white, and those go great together. Red, white, and blue, and for sure. But it's just got a good pop to it, and then the black throughout, and the creams. Just really cool. Liking that. But there's nothing wrong with throwing a little pop of color in. Definitely love to do color. You can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to stitch it how it wants to. That's how you're feeling it. You see it happening. Don't overthink it. That is definitely number one rule. You can always undo the stitch, if you look at it and then it's just totally not what you're liking at all, then you can always just snip it and take it out, undo it. Not set in stone. Always just try it, go with your feel, with your gut, and then see how you like it. There we go. I mean, what do you guys think? Is that turning out really fun? So I'm just going to keep working around it and maybe even do some in the background here, do some stitching and follow along and stitch around here. You can do little X's, maybe do some X's down here. You do even a whip stitch out like that. I mean, there's so many different ways and different things that you can do to decorate your little slow stitch cover here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it informational. And if you could please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and you guys can see my next video when I post it. Like, comment, and share, and let's grow together. And keep on crafting.